Hey everybody, Shane here. I really wanted to take a brief moment before the video starts to say thank you. I have about almost 500 subscribers at this point, and I really needed to thank every single one of you who have subscribed to my channel in the past couple weeks. It means such a great deal to me for you guys to like my content, and every single comment that I get is so much appreciated. And I know that we're building a small community here, and so I really just wanted to extend my gratitude to all of you because it means so much to me to see your comments and to see your different opinions here, and I really do appreciate every single one of you because you've all contributed to something that we're building together, and so just really thank you. But again, I just really wanted to take a moment before the video starts to thank you. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
One Piece is a staple of anime, being world-renowned and recognized as one of the highest-grossing media franchises of all time. One Piece also holds the record for the best-selling manga of all time. Being in serialization since 1997, it's no surprise that One Piece has quite the extensive history. Anybody that knows their ass from their elbow should be able to tell you that Funimation currently holds the rights to the One Piece anime. Funimation has been dubbing One Piece since 2007, starting off with the Jaya arc. But, as all true One Piece fans know, the series began long before Jaya, which begs the question, who was dubbing One Piece before?
Yo! Don't give it up, Luffy! Don't give it up, Zorro! Don't give it up, Nami! Don't give it up, give it up, give it up!
That's right, we're going to be talking about 4Kids Entertainment and their early acquisition of the One Piece anime. So 4Kids purchasing One Piece was pretty much just a series of unfortunate events for their company. To give an example for those who don't know, it would be as though you buy a new car, and then you take that new car, and then you just drive it into a body of water for no reason. And that right there is essentially what 4Kids did with One Piece. They took something that had a lot of potential and value and drowned it in bad edits. So, for those who aren't aware, let me name some of the bad edits that took place. Number 1, no smoking. So say hello to Lollipop Sanji, he's gonna be hanging around for a while. Number 2, they edited out all injuries, bloodshed, and death. Any sense of tension you had in One Piece before is gone. Nobody dies here. And hey, I could go on about them trying to change firearms into squirt guns, changing the skin tone of different people, and obscuring aspects of religion from One Piece. By now, we're all aware of how bad this dub was, but I wanted to dive into it a little bit further. And that's why today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 worst 4Kids edits. Alright, let's knock this one out early. In the number 5 spot, we have just everything wrong with Sanji. And where do I even begin with this absolute train wreck of a character? I'll start with the voice first. I kid you not, the voice for Sanji in this sounds like you took Vin Diesel and then you beat him over the head with a frying pan. Yeah, that's no exaggeration. Sanji's voice definitely gives me cancer, but at the same time, the accent makes me laugh, so that's something, right? Yeah, that's right, good old Sanji from Brooklyn, the #1 simp of the sea. All jokes aside, if you haven't heard Sanji's voice in the 4Kids dub, well, are you in for a treat? I've got a special clip prepared for you, so let's take a listen.
One place I never want to be is that cat's litter box. Oh yeah, delicious. Cat burger.
Shut up, bitch!
Yeah, every time Sanji opens his mouth, a little bit of my soul is shipped away. And I can almost overlook the fact that Sanji sounds mentally handicapped. But what ruins his character for me is the lollipop that he flaunts in my face every single second. It hurts. It just hurts. They took one of the best characters in One Piece and made him into an abomination. I can't even take Sanji's character seriously in this dub. But honestly, upon rewatching, I just find it pretty funny, and if you're ever in the mood for a laugh, I would definitely recommend going back and checking out the old 4Kids dub. I can promise you this much, Sanji will not disappoint. Now, in the number 4 spot, we have one of the 7 warlords, Mr. Zero himself, Sir Crocodile. Now, upon Crocodile's entry in the series, he was considered to be one of the most intimidating villains of all time in One Piece, defeating Luffy not once, but twice. The Alabasta arc is of pivotal importance in One Piece, standing out as a cornerstone in the series, and being one of the best arcs ever constructed in anime alone. And Crocodile helped make the Alabasta arc great, acting as an insurmountable wall for the Straw Hats to collectively team up and surpass. Like all good villains, Crocodile had an intimidation factor to him, and when I was watching the anime, I had a genuine sense of concern for Luffy, as he had fought Crocodile twice and lost both times, one time literally being impaled by him. But in the land of 4Kids, this just doesn't exist. So 4Kids made a ton of changes. Number one, they took away Crocodile's cigars, so he has his mouth hanging open half the time like some slack-jawed yokel trying to catch flies. Number two, they have Crocodile cracking jokes and puns out in the desert as if he's some sort of comedian. I'm sorry, 4Kids, it's just a little bit hard for me to take Crocodile seriously when he's making literal toilet puns in the desert. It almost as if he loses an intimidation factor or something like that. To prove I'm not making this up, I'm gonna show you the clip.
A desert toilet. A lovely way to describe it, Straw Hat. That makes you Desert Doo-Doo.
I can't believe 4Kids did my boy Crocodile so dirty like this, having him make f***ing poo-poo jokes out in the desert. Are you kidding me? Get real. But this isn't the worst edit with Crocodile. I kid you not, there is still something that is worse than this. So we all know that when Luffy fights Crocodile for the first time, he loses. And we're left with a gruesome yet impactful image of what it means to take on one of the 7 warlords. But of course, 4Kids decided to butcher this as well, leaving us with this artistic masterpiece. What the fuck is this? Oh my god, I've seen some bad edits from 4Kids in the day. But this has to take the cake. I don't know what's happening in this scene. I think Luffy slipped on like a nice warm parka. He, nestled himself into Crocodile's hook, and then they just embraced, and everything was right in the world. But in all seriousness, this edit ruined one of the most impactful scenes in all of One Piece, which is why I have it as the number 4 worst on my list. Here in the number 3 spot, we have another classic arc of One Piece, that of course being Arlong Park. While this arc is highly regarded by millions of One Piece fans across the globe, this arc in particular is special to me. This arc got me committed to One Piece, and showed me the potential for everything that it could and would be, exemplifying the best of what anime has to offer. In this arc, we get to explore Nami's backstory, and spoiler alert, it's very tragic. Nami, at a very young age, loses her paternal figure Belmere in a tragic and brutal fashion. As if it wasn't bad enough that Nami had her paternal figure killed right in front of her, afterwards she's enslaved by a race of fish people, and that is the development of Nami's backstory, giving birth to one of the best characters and best arcs in all of One Piece. Now, 4Kids had to handle this arc a little bit differently, by which I mean they f***ed the entire arc. 4Kids took the approach of "Who cares? Ha!" Yeah, so I don't believe 4Kids cared, because they essentially took out Nami's tragic backstory that formed her character and truly developed her. Instead of Belmere giving up her life for her 2 children, 4Kids said screw that, we're gonna try this idea instead.
How about a nice room in a dungeon for the rest of your days?
A nice room in a dungeon for the rest of my days? Alright, sign me up, Arlong. I feel like some people would like that stuff. All jokes aside, 4Kids, you ruined the scene. You ruined all of the tension and the emotion that was present. The sacrifice that Belmere was willing to make for her 2 children. In one scene, we have Arlong killing Belmere with a pistol. And in the other, we have him menacingly pointing at her while offering her a nice room to stay in. Like, what the fuck? This is by far one of the worst 4Kids edits I've had the displeasure of seeing. It changes a character's backstory and motivations for why they're fighting in the current arc, which is why it's deserving of the number 3 worst. Now, in the number 2 spot, I have Zorro. Oops, I mean Zolo, of course. Yes, Zolo. How foolish of me. Now, in the 4Kids dub, Zorro is voiced by the talented Mark Derison, who does an amazing job bringing this character to life. I would go so far to say that Mark's performance as Zorro is one of the only good things about the 4Kids era in One Piece, being a true diamond in the rough. For all my fellow Berserk fans who are watching, Mark also voiced Guts in the 1997 anime adaptation of Berserk. But even a legend like Mark Derison couldn't save Zorro's character from 4Kids' wrath. Now, you could have the best voice actor in the world portraying a character, but if you give that character crappy dialogue, then at the end of the day, it's gonna end up like shit. And that is essentially what 4Kids did with Zorro. They took one of the most badass characters and gave him dialogue fit for a 10-year-old. I can't begin to explain how bad the dialogue is, so let's just listen to it together.
What's all that noise?
Sanji's lollipop. I want to find out what he's always slurping on.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Your attitude's the pits.
cherry, peach, or apricot. Did you get a look at the size of those rabbits, Zolo?
Ugh. I promise you, all of those clips are unedited, and I didn't have to look very hard to find any of them. Go through any 4Kids episode if you're brave enough, and I guarantee you, you will find the most cringeworthy dialogue of all time. I couldn't make up this crappy dialogue even if I tried. I mean, honestly, what were 4Kids thinking? Zorro wants to find out what Sanji's slurping on? I mean, that just sounds all types of wrong. I wish those were words that didn't have to come out of my mouth, but no, here I am having to address that. And don't get me wrong, I don't have any problem at all with Zorro being funny. In fact, I think it would be quite boring if he was just a one-note, serious character. The humor has to be implemented correctly, and I think Funimation does a great job of that. 4Kids, on the other hand, decided it would be a good idea for Zorro to cluck like a chicken. Okay, 4Kids, I'll give it to you. It's kinda funny. Either that, or I'm going insane from having to watch all these 4Kids videos. Anyway, my point is that 4Kids did a great job destroying Zorro by giving him some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard, which is why it's deserving of the number 2 spot on my list. So far, we've seen numerous bad edits in this story. We've also seen modifications in dialogue that have me cringe every single time I hear them, and finally, we've seen changes in characters that help destroy them and lessen their impact in the overall story. So this naturally begs the question, what could be worse than all of these things? Welcome to the number 1 spot on my list, Iceberg Laboon.
It's about as bad as it can possibly get.
Where do I even start with this crap, honestly? So not only did 4Kids give bad edits, shit dialogue, and changes to the overall characters, no. They said they were gonna skip whole arcs. And this entirely breaks the story of One Piece, changing it into something else entirely. I'll give 4Kids a little bit of credit. Despite their crappy edits, they tried to keep the story fairly similar, just for a kid-friendly environment. But now, this is no longer One Piece. The story that was originally running parallel to its manga has diverted and become something strange and unfamiliar. Yet 4Kids would try to convince you that this is the same story, when it is not. For an example of what I'm talking about, let's look at Star Wars. If we remove the classic scene where Darth Vader tells Luke that he is his father, what are we left with? The answer is we would be left with next to nothing. This would alter the plot significantly and derive the final scene of much of the emotion that it had. Instead of Vader sacrificing himself and redeeming himself for the love of his son, instead we would be left with something we could not comprehend or understand, as that scene had been removed and our knowledge gone with it. Because 4Kids removed the reverse mountain arc, the sequence of events in One Piece were affected, and it destroyed one of my favorite Straw Hats. Instead of Brook reuniting with Laboon, thus fulfilling his promise and his dream, 4Kids decided to give us this.
We're gonna crash!
So much for that iceberg!
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is how you skip over an arc in seconds. So now, there's no more Crocus, no Laboon, and no backstory for Brook. All in a matter of seconds, wiped away. Oh, please wait for me, Iceberg! So canonically in the 4Kids universe, does this mean that Brook made a promise with an iceberg? I honestly don't know or care. But what I do know is that this is the worst 4Kids edit in my opinion, which earns it its rightful place as the number 1 spot on my list. Hey everyone, Shane here. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. I know that making it was definitely an eventful process, to say the least. No, but in all seriousness, I had a good time making the video. Definitely interesting going back to One Piece's earliest dubbing days. But more importantly, I want to hear from you guys. What are the worst changes that 4Kids made to One Piece, and why? As always, I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments below, and I want to thank all of you for watching the video. Once again, thank you for 500 subscribers. This has been Shane, and I'll see you all in the next video.